Sadly, we're a nation in decline, and yet they go after a popular president, a president that got more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country, by far, and did much better the second time in the election than the first. And they go after him on a boxer's hoax, just like the Russia hoax and all of the others. This has been going on for 7 years. They can't stop because it's...
I mean, Wall Street is, greed is good. The best. I know how to say that. Greed is good.
Yeah. Kathy, the other big news of the week, and there are two parts of it, one included you in it, was the SEC filing a civil case against Coinbase. On the back of that, you picked up some more shares of Coinbase. What's your thesis, and are you effectively betting against the government?
No, we're actually betting on the checks and balances inherent in our government. So you've got Gary Gensler, who's appointed by the executive branch, has to be ratified by the Senate. But we now have the judicial system and the legislative system studying and getting involved in this topic. And I think it's great. I think we're going to end up in the right place. Right now, the SEC regulation and uncertainty around it is chasing digital asset business away from this country. And I think the legislative branch understands it. This will be an election year issue. And I think the judicial branch is very interesting in terms of, the Voyager Binance case. The judge basically said, SEC, what are you doing? You can't prevent the sale of assets from this company to this company. The Grayscale case seems very logically going Grayscale's way. So hopefully we get a Bitcoin ETF. Right. And even the Ripple case, Gensler did not mention, or the SEC did not mention Ripple among the securities in these suits. So that's very interesting as well.
But Kathy, is your investment thesis when it comes to Coinbase based on the idea that you think the judiciary will rein in the SEC?
I think that between the judicial process and the legislative process, and perhaps an election year, I think this is an election year issue, that they will weigh in a way that gives us much more clarity in terms of regulation and the pathway to registration, which is one of the things that Brian Armstrong has been saying. Okay, tell us how to do it. And he's just been facing a stone wall. So let's get some of these answers. Let's get clarity. Right. The market hates uncertainty. And I think in the next year, we'll get a lot more certainty. That's what always wins.
Kathy, let me ask you a separate question. Just on the currencies themselves, Bitcoin, by the way, trading right now at $26,566. We've had many a conversation about your expectations about the value of Bitcoin. $500,000, I believe, was the last number that you had put out in terms of where you thought this could go. I think you thought that was several years away. Do you want to update us on where you think Bitcoin is? Does that change under this dynamic?
So in our Big Ideas 2023, it's on our website, arc-invest.com. You'll find our digital asset forecast. So we expect the Bitcoin price, our base case is 600,000 plus. Our bull case is more than $1 million. And I think as time goes on...
What's the timeline for that, Kathy?
2030.
2030.
2030. And, this is a very big idea. This is the first global, private, no government oversight, digital, rules-based monetary system. And there's a lot of discipline here in the mathematical metering to get to that.
But would you agree, Kathy, in fairness, and you've been very bullish, obviously, on Bitcoin for quite some time, and I think we've had conversations over the years where you had much higher expectations about where Bitcoin would be today. Meaning if we went back and looked 2 or 3 years ago, conversations, you would have talked about Bitcoin being much higher, I imagine, than $26,000, right? Are you disappointed in where things are? And does that change?
In fact, something really important happened very recently during the regional bank crisis. If you will notice, the regional bank stocks were imploding and Bitcoin went from 19,000 up to roughly 30,000 I got to. So what was that? That was a flight to safety. A flight to safety. Think about that. And we think all of innovation is going to be a flight to safety. We talked about Tesla before. Flight to safety, accelerate the movement onto this charging platform, make it a national standard. Let's all do this together. Flight to safety. So I think, our strategies, you mentioned ARKK, actually ARKQ holds more Tesla. That's our autonomous technology and robotics strategy. We believe that all of these, all of our funds, which have been hurt very badly by interest rates going up over the last few years, that they are going to benefit from the deflationary ramifications of innovation.
We'll have to talk about that.
Andrew, welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we have Trump indictment. And Trump calls it a hoax. And guys, we know this is just another distraction. And we know the NWO is setting this up for the end of the year to ride it to election. And we know in 2025, the digital transformation happened. And also we'll be looking at a debt ceiling crisis. But we know the NWO caused the problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. And we know the machines and digital currency will cause hyperdeflation. Who always talks about hyperdeflation? That's right, Kathy Woods, because she knows all about the digital transformation. She's invested in the robots, algorithms, and drones. That's the reason why she keeps saying Bitcoin to 1 million in 2030. And we're headed to the first global digital monetary system. And she talked about regional banks failing and Bitcoin going up. And guys, we know that had nothing to do with it. We know this whole regional banking crisis was planned out 10 years ago. We know these billionaires, fund managers are not going to give us the whole truth. But Kathy Woods is definitely telling us the whole truth about deflation. Because once you take humanity out of the workforce and bring in the machines, that's going to cut costs globally. And that's the reason why all these corporations keep saying productivity is going to move to all-time highs. And what did Kevin O'Leary say? Greed. And we know the NWO wants the power. Remember, money is just an illusion. It's the power over humanity. And who's causing all the crisis around the globe? That's right, the Fed. And we're going to be running into a great depression. And it's going to put even more pressure on small stocks and then also the small banks. And Kevin O'Leary was asked about the short selling of these small banks. Remember, guys, the banking model that we have right now doesn't work in the fourth industrial revolution. Remember, blockchain makes the payments faster and cheaper. Make sure you're watching the FDIC videos that I've done. Remember, guys, this is part of a plan. A plan moves in phases. And guys, before they can bring in the full digital transformation, the fourth industrial revolution, AI, robots, algorithms, and drones, and taking humanity out of the workforce, they gotta keep bringing distractions. One of them is Trump, and now we're seeing the alien invasion. And guys, we know the technology that they have, they can pull off anything. Remember, your life is an illusion, and TV is your reality. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because he knows. When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Jobs numbers, we gotta keep raising rates.
Lag.
Yeah, lags. Please, everybody, remember, monetary policy works with long and variable lags. They've only been raising rates for 15 months. They've hiked by 500 basis points. They need to sit back and wait and see the impacts. Now, that number today is helpful. I mean, it could reverse next week. It could be revised away. I don't know. But a run of jobless claims prints like that, I think, would be a really loud and clear warning signal to everybody that you can't raise rates by that much and have no impact. But predicting the timing and the extent is very difficult, but we've never seen the US raise rates by 500 basis points and not have a recession eventually.
Here's one. Is there a bloodbath coming? Is it going to affect banks and other lenders? How bad is this going to be? We are going to ask Shark Tank star Mr. Wonderful Kevin O'Leary when Kudlow returns. I got one more for you. Speaking of the regional banks, there's a movement by the American Bankers Association and other lobbyists to stop short sales of banks. I love this. Blame the short sellers. Shares in mid-sized banks like PacWest and Western Alliance are trading 50 to 80% below where they were before Silicon Valley Bank went down. And you've got some congressmen that are putting the pressure on Gary Gensler, the SEC chairman. Short sellers are currently taking advantage of perceived instability in the banking system to make a quick profit. Lord save us from a quick profit, Kevin O'Leary. And finally, the ABA urges Mr. Gensler to consider all its existing tools to stop abusive short selling. Abusive short selling. I think that must be worse than short selling. Anyway, what do you think about that? Should we end short selling? Would that solve all our problems?
That is total poo-poo. That is total poo-poo. That is absolutely ridiculous. Short selling is very, very important, and it's part of the market. It enhances trading volumes, reduces fees. This idea has been tried before. Chasing shorts as being the evildoers is complete poo-poo. And it's not going to happen because we've already had these examples before. We've tried to stop short selling every time there's a lot of pressure. Shorts happen because of idiot managers. People are constantly looking for opportunities for upside-down balance sheets and betting the other way. And remember, there's risk in doing that, Larry. When you're short, you have unlimited downside. So you've really got to do your homework. Yeah. Short sellers are a lot smarter than guys that just go long. They are here to stay forever. This idea will go nowhere. It will not become law. It's utterly poo-poo. The worst idea I've ever heard.
The government would ever just say, you know what, we've been lying to you for 70 years. We got aliens. We got dead aliens. Here they are. I mean, the country would never trust the government again. And plus, we'd all take the cash out of the banks and start buying weapons, right?
Going to a different economy. And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the fourth industrial revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.